You are listening to Mindshock. This is your host Bruce McGuire, and this is the live Q&A 17th edition. Welcome everyone. These are open-ended ask anything type affairs. Anyone in the chat is welcome to ask any question on any topic. We never know where these are going to go, which makes them so fun, because I have no idea where the questions are going to lead us down which rabbit holes. This is not a specific true crime Q&A. It is not a conspiracy Q&A. It's anything goes. So true crime is welcome, conspiracies are welcome, paranormal, supernatural, Bigfoot, ghost, Terminators, all welcome to be discussed. Anything can be discussed on Mindshock Q&As. As always, if you want to help support the channel, help logic and reason return to a world where it is quickly going extinct, you can donate to our PayPal. Just check the link in the description. You can also become a YouTube member right here on YouTube. Help support the channel that way. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share. Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, Patreon. Patrons do get priority for case, topic, logical analysis, co-podcaster requests. You could also be a guest on the podcast, depending on your tier. Questions, comments, theories, thoughts, suggestions, rebuttals, debunkings of any kind, leave them in the comments section. Unless you are here live with us, then drop them in the chat, and I will try to get to each and every inquiry. And of course, one of the reasons logic is so useful is it can be applied to anything. Again, whether we are talking time-traveling Bigfoot Terminators from Hollow Earth working for the Prince of Death, a theory I had never heard prior to watching Nathan Reynolds' interview, possibly the greatest conspiracy interview of all time. You can check that out here on Mindshock. He brought that theory. That's the first time I've ever heard anybody say it quite like that. So we got Justin Johnson, one of the usual suspects here in the Mindshock chat. Relatively quiet otherwise. I am sure not everyone got a notification. Tens of thousands of subscribers. For some reason, YouTube does not like certain questions being asked. There was definitely some major issues surrounding the NASA Occult Patches podcast, where the entire stream was shut down, which is kind of weird. You can talk about the occult, you can talk about NASA, but talking about both, that's problematic. Apparently that is problematic. We got a couple people in here. Nobody, other than Justin, nobody wants to talk in here. So, Justin, you got any questions? Where are we going tonight? Where are we going to end up tonight? We went 9/11, Jean-Claude Van Damme blowing the whistle on the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds. That was on the last live Q&A. Yeah, a lot of people are actually migrated over to Twitter. Twitter video is getting kind of big. Kind of big. Got quite a few more logical analyses coming up to cover. There's just so many. I don't even think there are that many new ones coming out, but there were so many from the past year or two. Probably had the most of any year. Boggin in the chat here. Boggin said he would only watch the Kabbalah Trump debate. I might have to do a logical analysis on that debate. I'm not sure I could stomach it, though. They're so tough. I haven't done a logical analysis on any of the debates, I don't believe. Any political debates of political candidates. All right, we got some more people flowing in here now. Soy wits. I'm gonna try to finish that either tomorrow or the day after, maybe. Definitely this week. I will definitely be finishing that this week. Soy Lodge. What a goof. I mean, that performance is really one for the ages. I mean, he invented a whole new category of goofery. Soy goofery. I mean, we didn't have that category before Soy Lodge. Soy goofery. I mean, I guess you could argue that Destiny possibly planted the seeds for soy goofery. The one and only Destiny. I mean, we got some people in here. Nobody else wants to talk in the chat. Nobody has a question in the live Q&A. I'm genuinely curious where this is going to end up because I did not see the WW2 rabbit holes coming in the last live Q&A. I did not know we would be going in that direction. Or 9/11 we touched upon. What else did we do in the last one? Joyce B in the house. Welcome. Anybody got a question? What is the first question of the evening? Oh, the legendary Heracles. Anybody got a question? What will the first question be? Will it be in the category of the paranormal, true crime, conspiracies? We haven't talked about Bigfoot in a while. Jeff here could do a show on belief. What do you mean by belief? Like the nature of belief itself? Belief versus knowledge? I mean, what kind of specificity are we going to be getting into with belief? Religious belief? Scientism belief? Or belief versus direct knowledge? Boggin asks, what AI were you using for the true crime AI analyses? I actually built a custom AI software to kind of bypass a lot of the woke goofery, censoring, and limitations on most of the available AIs. I mean, there's only so much you can do. It's kind of built, it's written into a lot of the code. But there are some workarounds. Jeff says religious. It's gonna go there. You want a podcast on religious belief? I think that's too broad a topic. I think we need I think it needs even more specificity. Boggin says he's more of a Dogman guy. Have you guys all seen the Dogman podcast? I did a few Dogman podcasts. Dogman. Coincidentally, Nathan Reynolds did mention Dogman in Michigan, which is the modern origin in the U.S. appears to be traced to Michigan, obviously. Dogman is a creature that has been reported into ancient times, but in modern incarnations, it is known as the Michigan Dogman. Jeff Hunt says heliocentrism is a belief. Boggin says the globe earth is religious belief. So, wait a second, Jeff. So, yeah, even religious belief, I don't know if I think that's still too broad. I think that is still too broad. Linda Godfrey researching werewolves. I don't even remember. I don't remember. I mean, there is overlap between werewolves and Dogman. I went over that on the Dogman podcast, but there's still distinctions to be had. Are we doing a podcast on the differences between werewolves and dogmen? Is that where we're going tonight? What about interdimensional dogmen? I don't know if I did a podcast on that yet. Or interdimensional dogman ghosts. That sounds like a good topic for a podcast. Jeff Hunt says people's belief systems are based on garbage. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to argue that. The average goof walking around. Boggin says another cool cryptid are those humans without heads and face on the torso. The name escapes me. Yeah, I remember those. Those are weird. We haven't talked Mandela effect in a while. Has that calmed down, or are people? I kind of remember seeing that everywhere on the internet, and then the past, I would say, I don't know, maybe 6 months. The past 6 months, it seems to be a lot quieter on the Mandela front as Tartaria gains steam. Yeah, on old maps, there's actually, I have a whole book. Actually, I have a few different books on collections of old maps. They have mermen on them. They have all different sorts of beasts, and specifically in certain areas of the world. Antarctica as well. Like, around Antarctica are some really weird creatures drawn on some of these old maps. Heracles says, Bruce, do you agree with the possibility that all origin stories are in fact retelling of the same stories with different names? For the most part, yes. I think there are a few outlier civilizations, but yes, the majority of civilizations have origin stories that appear to be just about identical. Of some kind of previous civilization like Atlantis, some kind of great flood, and then everything coming from that. So yeah, the Atlantean Lemurian stories are incredibly interesting. Now, where it gets kind of tricky is, are they submerged continents, or are they simply lands beyond the ice wall of Antarctica if the flat Earth map is true? That's a great question. That's a great question because I've long pondered the Atlantis question, possibly more so than any other topic, actually. I don't know if I've actually attempted to quantify that before. I think I actually might have spent more time on Atlantis. I would say Atlantis and aliens and UFOs have probably taken more of my time than anything else in decades and decades of research. I think Atlantis may have been some kind of worldwide civilization, and the capital of Atlantis, or the main land of Atlantis, might possibly be on the ice wall. That's why it hasn't been discovered yet. The pillars of, as Plato described it, I mean, is it possible Plato described land masses outside of the Antarctic Circle? Is that possible? So, the Pillars of Hercules is how beyond the Pillars of Hercules. And, I mean, this is straight from Wikipedia, but Renaissance tradition says the pillars bore the warning ne plus ultra, or non plus ultra, nothing further beyond serving as a warning to sailors and navigators to go no further. So did the ancient world have something similar to an Antarctic treaty where they didn't want people going beyond the Pillars of Hercules? See, because of all the mistranslations of everything, I'm not sure if I buy that Gibraltar is where the Pillars of Hercules are. I don't know if I buy that. That seems like some kind of misinfo, disinfo, because if the Pillars of Hercules are somewhere around Antarctica, I mean, who knows? It could have possibly even been some kind of artificial. How do we know that the Pillars of Hercules aren't some kind of artificial structures that were erected by some kind of advanced civilization at that time? See, now you have the Antarctic Treaty, the 60th parallel, where they don't want people going beyond them. But in the ancient world, according to according to this is the mainstream narrative, they didn't want people going beyond them for whatever reason. Now, the Strait of Gibraltar, I mean, it seems kind of weird. Because you have these two mountains. Why would mountains be called pillars? It doesn't really make a lot of sense. I mean, let's go to the etymology of pillar. A column, narrow in proportion to height. See, that's not, mountains are not narrow at all, especially not Jebel Musa. So the two pillars, many believe it's the Rock of Gibraltar and Jebel Musa. Now, the Rock of Gibraltar also is not really narrow at the bottom at all. I'm going to put images up in a second. I mean, do people really buy this? I mean, it really doesn't seem accurate at all. YouTube's being real glitchy again. It's not letting me, doesn't want me to put these images. Wow, this is so weird. Why is it doing that? Are we touching a nerve here? Are we not allowed to discuss the Pillars of Hercules? Is this what YouTube wants to censor now? Discussing the Pillars of Hercules? I'm going to put them on the screen in a second. It looks like I have to change, like, all the metadata here. Heracles says, I always assumed it was just off the European and African continents and the pillars were at the Straits of Gibraltar. It doesn't match the definition of pillar. I mean, not even close. Like, why would they call them pillar? I mean, that doesn't... I mean, the Greeks were quite accurate. I don't see them... Yeah, that doesn't... Not to mention, you know, you have Egyptian tombs in the Grand Canyon. I mean, it seems that they went beyond them all the time. So, is it more likely that they're referring to the ice wall of Antarctica and not going beyond there? Because those that go beyond there don't come back. Oh man, YouTube is so annoying here. Incredibly annoying here. For whatever reason, it doesn't want me to put these images on the screen. Okay. So, this is... I mean, that's not a pillar, okay? This is not narrow in proportion to height by any stretch of the imagination. Now, this is a little bit more narrower, in the Gibraltar here, but it's not narrow at the base, definitely not in proportion to height. So this doesn't. I mean, how can this be said to be the Pillars of Hercules? Narrow in proportion to height, either weight bearing or freestanding. Not to mention pillars and columns. I mean, these are artificial. These aren't. I mean, why would that refer? Yeah. Also, in the figurative sense, it is prop or support of an institution. So, are these artificial structures of somewhere around Antarctica? Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make sense, especially not these particular mountains. Like, there are mountains that are far more narrower that maybe you could argue, but you can't really argue these. I don't see how anybody could argue these. And once again here, the pillars, and of course these have been, even according to the wiki here, this has been disputed throughout history. So they don't really know. Hmm. Yeah, so Plato placed the legendary island of Atlantis beyond the Pillars of Hercules. Renaissance tradition says the pillars bore the warning: ne plus ultra or non plus ultra, nothing further beyond, serving as a warning to sailors and navigators to go no further. Now, what does that mean? Bore the warning? Like engraved on the pillars? Once again, if these are artificial pillars with engraving, like, how did they bear the warning? Like, how did they bear the warning? So here is a statue of Hercules and the pillars, and of course these are depicted as actual columns, not as mountains. So once again, what does that mean? Were there some kind of artificial pillars somewhere? In Inferno, Dante mentions Ulysses in the pit of the fraudulent counselors, that sounds ominous, and his voyage past the Pillars of Hercules. Ulysses justifies endangering his sailors by the fact that his goal is to gain knowledge of the unknown. After 5 months of navigation in the ocean, Ulysses sights the mountain of Purgatory, but encounters a whirlwind from it that sinks his ship and all on it for their daring to approach Purgatory while alive by their strength and wits alone. You also had the Phoenicians supposedly traveling all over the world as well, so it seems really unlikely that the pillars are referring to the Straits of Gibraltar. Purgatory. Interesting. Hmm. So I don't know if we actually examined this on an episode here, but looking at some of these high res maps, it kind of reminded me of some of these ominous names on some of these super high res maps. Like we have Termination Land. Is that a pyramid there? On Termination Land? What is that? Pyramid. Termination Land. I thought I remembered something that said purgatory as well. I don't remember which map I saw that on. And I don't remember exactly where it was. There's some really ominous names for some of these islands around Antarctica. Someone made a map here. A curious map. Blood Falls. Does anybody know about the Blood Falls in Antarctica? Saw this map. You got pyramids, don't ask area, alien base, mystery ship, and then Blood Falls. Oh wow. There's literally a blood waterfall. There's red waterfalls in Antarctica. I did not know that. Learning something new today. I thought it was some kind of like metaphorical name. It is literally a red ice waterfall in Antarctica. Wow. That's so weird. So now the next question. Is this like the blood of giants or titans? I'll go into the official explanation in a second, but I mean, this is interesting. Check this out. I mean, this is cool stuff. There might be a lot of reasons why they don't want people going to Antarctica. Kill the Bank says, if the South is as big as I think it has to be, there could be more land and GPS just routes around it. I wouldn't be surprised. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Maybe there is more land even within our Earth pond and not outside of the Antarctic ice wall. That's a good point. That's a good point. B. Carter says, what if beyond Antarctica are lands where many beasts or castouts reside and these beasts cannot step within our Middle Earth? Yeah, that is interesting, especially if it's called Middle Earth. Is that a middle circle? Is that what that means? And there are outer circles? And it's not layers like Hollow Earth style, but all on like a tabletop type circles. Justin says, I think there is just as many answers, if not more, at the north over the South Pole. Now, that's a curiosity as well. I've long pondered this, too, ever since the Flat Earth rollout online. if all compasses point to the north, are you supposed to go to the north? Is the North Star for the navigation of all souls literally to find their way home to the middle? And is the middle Mount Moreau the Black Rock? Possibly. I mean, I don't know. Is Antarctica so ant? The root of ant is giant. So are the giants or the former titans, were they cast out to the lands beyond Antarctica? And we're not meant to go to Antarctica? And we're meant to go to the North Pole in the middle? I mean, I don't know. Wasn't there some expedition? Wasn't there an expedition of... I think they were flat earthers, but it was more of like a spiritual expedition to the North Pole, like a private one. Whatever happened with that? I believe that was around 2015 to 2017, somewhere in that area. Anybody know about that? I think some flat earthers were talking about that. The Ant One says, I feel like Antarctica could be the key to everything. I think they're both the keys. I think the center, the North Pole, and Antarctica. But here's the thing. If Antarctica is really the land of the giants, or that's... I mean, what is this blood waterfall, blood glacier? Let me get into that. Oh, you know, Heracles also said, I figured they had some ceremonial gate with pillars. Are the pillars more of like a stargate? Because I also spent some time researching Tiwanaku. Are there stargates on this realm? And could the pillars refer to some kind of giant stargate? Not necessarily this one in Tiwanaku, South America, but other pillars, the land of the unknown. Were they teleporting to the lands of the unknown? Who said they weren't teleporting? So many mysteries. Okay, so blood falls, an outflow of an iron oxide tainted plume of salt water flowing from the tongue. That's interesting. The tongue of Taylor Glacier onto the ice-covered surface of West Lake Bonny in the Taylor Valley of the McMurdo Dry Valleys in Victoria Land, East Antarctica. The tongue. Now, is that a revelation of the method there? The tongue of Taylor Glacier? And why is this the only spot? Like, there's no iron anywhere else? If this official explanation is true, how come there's no other blood glaciers? Like, this is the only place with iron? I mean, they still call it a mystery. The mystery of blood waterfall, so they don't really know. I'll put up a few more images here. That image from the other side, I mean, this image here is kind of crazy. I'm going to put it on the screen in a second. Look at that. Look at that angle from underneath it. And again, if this is that common, just iron deposits, why are these not occurring elsewhere? I mean, this is crazy. This is so crazy. I wonder if these are literal giants or titans. Also, Tartary. The word Tartary is so interesting. Because Tartary... Because in Greek mythology... Tartary or Tartaros or Tartarus is the deep abyss that is used as a dungeon of torment and suffering for the wicked and as a prison for titans. See, why is it called Tartaria? And why is Tartarus this deep abyss? According to Plato, souls are judged in Tartarus. Interesting. Very interesting, but so in the Iliad, Zeus asserts that Tartarus is as far beneath Hades as heaven is above earth. You know, it's so weird because what if there's different ways to get to these places? So if this is Antarctica, once again, giant Antarctica. Also the Andes Mountains, the Andes, that was supposedly the land of giants in South America as well. I mean, the etymology is quite curious. A lot of coincidences if they're all not related. Also, in the Bible, there's Tartaru, which is related to Tartarus. It means cast down or throw to Tartarus, which is interesting. 2 Peter 2:4. For if God did not spare angels when they sinned, but cast them into hell and committed them to chains of gloomy darkness to be kept until the judgment. And the footnote is Greek Tartarus. Also known as the Lake of Fire. I mean, it's so difficult to narrow these down, but look how creepy these bloodfalls are. I mean, how does that not look creepy? And it's called the tongue of the glacier. Who named it that? So an ice tongue is the official name. So according to the wiki, an ice tongue or glacier tongue exists when there is a narrow floating part of a glacier that extends out into a body of water beyond the glacier's lowest contact with the Earth's crust. And again, who named it that? It's just curious. I mean, some of the nomenclature, like all the Egyptian names in the Grand Canyon that nobody knows who named them. I mean, there's just so much in the nomenclature. Yeah, Justin Johnson said Rothschild Island, Deception Island. Has anybody been to Deception Island? I wonder if there's videos. Let me check them out. Apparently so. Wow. Interesting. There's an abandoned whaling station there with a lot of, apparently a lot of stories. It's a video here from 16 years ago. Let me see if I can get it up on the screen. I wonder why it would be named that. Actually, the video's kind of boring. Doesn't really show much. There's a newer video from 2022. I probably put this one on the screen. Yeah, I'll put this one on the screen. It shows a little bit more. I mean, some of these places just look weird. It almost looks like they're mining, like the ancient mining theory. There might be something to that. There really might, because some of these places really do look like some kind of mining operation on a grand scale. Some kind of ancient mining operation. Like the land just looks, I don't know, it's just weird. There's a lot of places like this all over the world. And they just looked completely like bombed out. Like, I don't know if there was some kind of ancient energy weapons used. And Deception Island looks like one of these places. I'm going to put it on the screen in a second. Boggin says, if you study Antarctica on Google Earth, you can see how much editing they've done on it. Yeah. Pinto Sack says, Mindshock Q&A is greater than the presidential debate, no doubt. No doubt. Boggin says, Blood Falls Tartarus. I mean, yeah, does this not look like Tartarus? I mean, this is crazy. And who knows what it looked like hundreds or thousands of years ago. Yeah, I didn't see this conversation going to Blood Falls in Antarctica, but that's where we are. Wow, Heracles says, I have heard Mud Fossil University say that Himalayan salt is blood. That could make sense, it's pink. Joyce says, yikes, that image looks a bit eerie, like a serpent head spewing out red venom. Yeah, this is known as the tongue of the glacier. That is curious. Earth Goat Tress says, don't forget we have iron in our blood, which is magnetic. Just like the iron of the earth and red color. Yeah. Riri says, opposites attract. If the needle points to the north, wouldn't that make it south? I'm joking, they're just words assigned by the controllers and they're meant to confuse and distract. Okay, you just opened up a can of worms there. What if the North Pole is really south? That's interesting. I wonder how this all ties in with concave Earth theory. If everything is absolutely inverted and backwards, would the north be outward? I know the north, or whatever, XYZ be outward. But why would it point to the center if you need to go away from center? Unless, if this is some kind of prison planet, if the prison planet hypothesis is true, is going to the north and going to the North Star, is that a deception? Wow, that's a topic for a podcast. Are compasses the deception? What is a compass? What needs to come to pass? Come pass through? Your soul needs to pass through? So, circa 1300, this is etymology, Etymonline, 1300, space, area, extent, circumference. Interesting. So to go around, measure with a compass, or to divide equally. Circus, radius, size. So compass refers to circle. So would it make more sense that you should be going towards the outer circle instead of towards the middle? Also, if the Earth really is some kind of flat disk, a compass is measuring the circle, the flat circle, not a sphere. That's interesting, isn't it? There's also, from the 1550s, the compass means limits or boundary. How curious is that? So if the compass measures the limit or the boundary, that's curious. So is it always meant for you to stay in the circle and not go? Whoa, 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 whoa. Major mind shock here. So apparently there's a definition here from the 1550s that means limit or boundary. That's what compass means. So are you supposed to be limited to this inner circle? And is it an artificial limiting by the masters and controllers? Now, it depends on which direction you're going in, because if the truth is revealed in the words, if that's where it was hidden, then no. But if this is Prison Planet, where everything is a deception, including compasses and the North Star and following the North Star, then is it all inverted and we should be going to the Antarctica and the lands outside of Antarctica because this Middle Earth circle is some kind of soul harvesting reincarnation trap? Who thought we'd be going here tonight on Mindshock? Who thought we'd be going here? And yes, if the compass is magnetic and affected by iron, and all this land is literally carcasses of titans, like mountains, everything, all of the land, even the rocks cried out. I mean, is this all related? And if everything is a deception, is this a prison circle? And a compass is a trick to keep us in the middle circle and not going out to the outer lands. That's curious. Or if it's a benevolent, like again, if Tartarus really is the Antarctic ice wall and beyond, and there are all these dragons and monsters and titans and these destroyers of humans that would kill and destroy humans, and this is our human protected area and would be killed to go outside it, is it a benevolent entrapment in the middle circle? Interesting. Joyce B says Hebrews 12:1 uses compass, seeing we are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses. Justin says south is every direction away from our center, north. Yeah. So, but the compass, if that means limit, are we being artificially limited to this circle, to this Earth Pond, Middle Earth circle? Or if the truth about words, the phony phonetics of the Phoenicians, languishing in our language, the world of the word, making vows to vowels. I mean, casting spells with the spelling and the evil grimoires of grammar. Is it all a trick? Because if we're all spell bound by the spelling of the words, I mean, that's all very tough. Or is the truth hidden in the words? This is all very, very tough, because if it's all a deception, see, I mean, what are the theories here? Did white hats encode the truth in the words so everybody would know them? Or, if everything's a deception and a trick, then none of the words can be trusted. Languish in the language. The phony phonetics of the Phoenicians. Well, also, I mean, a sound and a sound. Does everybody know the geological definition of a sound? So it's not just acoustic wave vibration. But a sound is a smaller body of water connected to a sea or an ocean. And why are seas called seas? You see the sea. The currents, like currents of electricity, currents of water. I mean, all of this is just so problematic. Vessel, like a blood vessel. A seafaring vessel, blood vessel, body of water. Like, we're like, the nomenclature is just insane here. It's just insane. Or even arteries. arteries in terms of rivers and flow, blood flow, water flow. I mean, you can really get lost in all this stuff. Just like a birth, like of a vessel, your birth, the birth of a boat. I mean, it all gets really crazy really quick. I mean, just the mind shocks are kind of unlimited once you start examining etymology. So did the white hats hide the truth in the words? Or if everything is a deception, then those can't be trusted. Alright, let's look at a video of Deception Island. Does it look like some kind of mining operation? Let's see. Look at the landscape. Like, it doesn't look like a healthy landscape. Like, there's no grass. It almost looks like some kind of bombed out mining operation where the earth was mostly destroyed. Justin says, our known Earth is a mined-out quarry stripped of its silicon. I mean, this does not look like a healthy landscape here. Jeff Hunt says, who changed the alphabet? The Knights Templar. That's a rabbit hole. I mean, this just looks otherworldly. It just looks weird. Other than the water, it just does not look like a healthy landscape, does it? No grass. And there's an abandoned whaling station. So this is Deception Island near Antarctica. Wonder what kind of deception took place here. This looks creepy. Looks like they did some kind of MK Ultra experiments. Yeah, where are the trees? They went swimming at Deception Island. I wonder how healthy the water is.
Here we go.
Is that Noah's Ark in the background? What is that? Is that part of a base? Is that part of the abandoned base? That looks like something out of Star Wars. The heck? What is that? Looks like something out of Star Wars. But it definitely looks like some kind of haunting landscape, doesn't it? Boggin says there's some kind of tents, maybe. Earth Goat Tress says looks like a giant toilet seat. The Giants and the Titans left the toilet seat on Deception Island. Is that the Great Deception? That does not look like a tent. The heck is that? That does not look like a tent. It almost looks, I don't know, it looks like some kind of relic. It might be part of an abandoned, there was a whaling station at Deception Island. That's what they showed earlier. Yeah, Truth Troll says that looks like something that they could put on the front of a ship. Yeah, it might be the remains of a ship or something. Run Boston Bear says, I was thinking a hoof of some sort. If they had giant horses. Is that a horseshoe? Sir Fev 2010 says, Mindshock past his prime. Boring, watered down channel now. Are you triggered by Deception Island, Sir Fev? What's watered down about talking about Deception Island and Blood Falls, Antarctica? You think that's watered down? You want to go back to talking about Bigfoot? We can do that. Or what about Bigfoot in Antarctica? Here's another angle of this thing. What? Yeah, I mean, it looks like it might be the remains of a ship. Yeah. So there was a whaling station. That'd be a good location for some kind of horror movie. Lord Zed says it's some kind of devil symbol. What kind of satanic activities occurred at Deception Island? Sir Fev says, just joking, really have fun. It's a weird joke. Why would you say Blood Falls, Antarctica and Deception Island is watered down? I mean, there's plenty of other podcasts you could say is watered down. I don't think there's anything watered down about this particular one. Oh, you want video of Blood Falls? Let's see if there is video. If there isn't, that would be curious. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of one of these anomaly. PBS did a video on this. Let's see what they got. So it's apparently, it doesn't look like it's actively running. That's not, let me see what else they got here. A lot of these videos just show images. That is curious. Why is there not video? And most of the videos are just showing images of it. Yeah, most of these videos are just showing images. That's weird, isn't it? Yeah, I just watched, I'm just skipping through like 10 different videos, and they're all just showing still images in the video. That's weird, man. Wow, that's really weird. Huh. Yeah, apparently not. There's one video from Nova where they're walking around it, but it's not actively bleeding, so to speak. I did find this other weird video from Mud Fossil University that there are rivers in Alaska that are also running red. Interesting. Yeah, apparently there really aren't videos of it. Make of that what you will. Because in this image above, where from behind it, it's actively flowing. There's no video of that, though. In the other images, there's a video of the top left where the people are standing around. There's a video of that, but the blood's not moving, or whatever. The red liquid's not moving. It would be curious to see a video of this other image here at the top. EarthGoat Tress says that looks like red calcite stone to me. They say it's basically because of the iron, but who knows? It's also coincidentally it's the tongue of the glacier, and for whatever reason, there's no other glaciers like this. That's kind of weird. I mean, if it's just this natural occurring thing, why would this be the only area in the world, the land of giants in Antarctica? Weird. Definitely weird. What the heck? There's another angle. Apparently this is a... I don't know how big... It's also hard to tell how big it is. I mean, it's obviously fairly big. There's a few different angles. I don't know exactly where these all are, but check this out. I mean, it just looks so creepy. Apparently, it's really big. Incredibly big. Much bigger than in the picture on the top left. I mean, it's huge. I guess it looks different at different times. But, yeah, this is crazy. I mean, look how gigantic it looks in this image. I mean, these are like mountains behind it. Definitely weird. All right, anybody got any more questions? What are we talking about? We're going. We went over blood falls in Antarctica tonight. Justin said it looks fake. I don't know. Apparently, it's like a tourist destination. Yeah, you would think there'd be more. Okay, there's video. It's a weird video. Most of them are images, but they do have, there's something here. So this is from Mystery History. I don't know where they got these. It's a small channel, 361 subscribers. I don't know if it was taken off of Nova, PBS or something. They did some kind of documentary about it. Or maybe just about Antarctica, and this was a small part of the documentary. I'll put it on the screen in a second. It is weird how there's not a lot, there's basically no video. But again, I mean, if almost nobody can go there. Getting a lot of lag here. Hopefully it's not too bad for everybody. There's a video. There's a couple videos. Maybe they don't want there to be video for whatever reason. The powers that be. I mean, it's kind of like Bohemian Grove. There's a few videos. There's not a lot. It's a couple videos. heck is going on? YouTube's getting so laggy. Does not want to put the video up. Okay. Let's try this again. Okay, here we go.
The mysterious blood falls of Antarctica. Have you heard of the mysterious blood falls?
So that's like a helicopter video.
Mysterious blood falls of Antarctica. Glacier in Antarctica's. This eerily gory waterfall is not in fact.
That looks like an animation, but there's a video of people
Because McMurdo, it's an area and very.
You just put my glove back on my hand.
Yeah, right here.
Degrees Fahrenheit or negative 17 degrees Celsius, and very little glacial melting at the surface.
So
it's minus 5.2.
Running red.
Wow. I need to put my glove back on my hand.
Celsius is
For 100 years. Red color.
Okay.
5.2.
Despite these conditions, the blood
video still looks pretty crazy. I like how they have to label it red color. I mean, I guess maybe that's for colorblind people. I don't know. Justin says, I do think they will try to use the sun simulator in Cantarctica in December. If you think about it, they only have to use it at night.
falls continue to flow. And let me tell you, it's wild. The scientists use radar to see a network of subglacial rivers and even environments is because it's got a ton of salt in it. I mean, we're talking
Salty
and found that the cracks and then the sourced from
no one
several in a
means it has
degree that is fine. These micro Earth. Well, it's not easy to get there, and access is heavily. There are similar organizations.
So
Once you've been
obviously
granted
can't just
permission,
go there.
you will likely
If you
fly
wanna
into
go there,
McMurdo
you have
Station,
to
the
jump
main
through all
research
these
hub in
hoops,
Antarctica. From
get
there,
some kind of expedition permission and all that stuff. But yeah, there's a couple videos here, not too many. And they attempt to explain it. The best shot they had was maybe...
remains liquid. At first, one might assume. Finally, the high pressures at the base of the glacier also have a small peeking into the past,
All of
trying to
Antarctica
understand.
looks weird, doesn't it? Like it just looks so eerie and bizarre. That might be the best shot.
Falls continue to flow,
Looks like it's
and its
handheld.
red color.
Oh, killed the bank, coming in hard with a question. You think there's anything at Oak Island? Not sure if there's anything now, but apparently there was at some point. We're definitely going to have to do an episode on that. I've watched a few documentaries on that. Aaron's Energy says, Google says the blood falls are full of microbes that can survive extreme conditions. Creepy. I wonder if this is some kind of dragon blood. If the dragons were vanquished, dragons, titans, giants, all those stories of old, if there's any truth to it. Aaron's Energy says, how about Blind Frog Ranch? I don't believe I'm familiar with Blind Frog Ranch. Eastern Utah. Locals say land is cursed and holding on to treasures. Interesting. So, Mystery at Blind Frog Ranch is apparently a 3-season reality TV show? Or is that just one episode of a reality TV show where they go to weird places? Episode guide. Yeah, no, I think it might be. Yeah, these might all be. All 3 seasons might be. That's weird. Anybody watch this show? Mystery at Blind Frog Ranch? I've never heard of it. Aaron's Energy says, oh, it's a juicy one. Okay, well, that sounds like it's going to be quite time consuming. Joyce B says, our world's so crazy in 2024, cautious skepticism very much required. Justin says, I think they leave the truth in our face to justify they didn't cross God when they have to answer to the Almighty. The laws of the universe, possibly? Revelation of the method required? Alright, what's the final topic of the evening? Boggin says it's like Skinwalker Ranch. Yeah, I'm still working on that one. Still compiling research. Some of the older... It's kind of hard to trust a lot of the newer stuff, but some of the older accounts from Skinwalker Ranch are quite fascinating. Kill the Bank says, we need to put frequencies on our movie list. It's a mind blower. What year is that? There's one 2013. In an alternate reality, children learn how lucky they will be, their frequency, knowledge which shapes their destiny. The unluckiest boy must parse the mysteries of free will in order to pursue his forbidden love of the luckiest girl. Interesting. Is that the movie you're referring to? Does sound interesting and creepy. Frequencies. Frequencies are frequent. Frequent. Free. Become free through the frequency. In the 1550s, frequency, state of being crowded. 1640s, fact of occurring often. From Latin frequentia, an assembling in great numbers. A crowding, a crowd, a multitude, a throng. From frequentum, rate of occurrence, especially of vibration. Interesting. So the original definition was a state of being crowded. Quench is to extinguish or to put out. Frequency. Frequency? Frequench. I don't know. I don't know. Lord Zed says, The Wave with Justin Long. I can't do Justin Long. I can't watch Justin Long movies. I just watched Dodgeball a little while ago. But yeah, Justin Long, he was implicated by Cappy, right? Isaac Cappy. That stream got, that whole thing got deleted from YouTube. I did hear on Mindshock. You can check it out on Rockfin and Rumble, though, on the Mindshock Rumble. Okay, yeah, we'll add frequencies to the list. Let me write that down. I never heard of it. But yeah, that'll round it out for tonight. We will be back for plenty more. I'll be finishing up Austin Whitsitt versus Soy Lodge. And then right after that, the next Austin analysis will be Austin versus so-called Professor Dave. That'll be a doozy as well. Joyce B says, the movie They Live is a recommended must-watch by many who no longer live on a spinning ball. They say watch it as a documentary if you are awake to the many lies. Yeah, I don't really know a lot of people who haven't seen They Live at this point, especially pro wrestling fans. Rowdy Roddy Piper woke up a lot of pro wrestling fans with that one. But thanks again, everybody, for joining us. If you want to help support the Mindshock podcast, help logic and reason return to a world where it's quickly going extinct, you can donate to our PayPal. Just check the link in the description. You can also become a YouTube member right here on YouTube. Help support the channel that way. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share. Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, Patreon. This is Bruce McGuire signing off. Catch you guys next time.